Hi, Michelle here. In today's video, I thought that I would take a look at if I could only pick 10 Hoyas to keep, to raise, to grow, what would those 10 Hoyas be? I have about 110-ish right now. So if I had to get rid of all of them except for 10, what would I pick and why would I pick those? So I have them spread out around me now. So I thought I would go over those with you and we would talk about what are my top 10 Hoyas and why would I keep these if I had to get rid of all of the rest of them. I don't know if some might surprise you or some might, you might go, of course. If you like today's video, I'd really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. That lets me know where I'm at with the content I'm creating, if I'm making videos that are of interest to you. If they are of interest to you and you'd like to see more plant-related content from me, please consider subscribing to my channel. That would really help me out a lot. And if you'd like to add more to the conversation, please put a comment in the comment section below. I like to interact with my comment section, so I promise I'll get back to you. And now on to the 10 Hoyas. The first Hoya I have, I could not take off of its hanging, its macrame hanger. And of course it's getting all caught up in all the other Hoyas that are around me. So I will hold this up. Oh, and it's got a yellow leaf. This is my polyneura. I've had this. I will put a little picture up of it in my in the top of the screen. This sits in up top of this window. I have it in the window. It likes to branch out. This is the part that is in the back against the wall. This doesn't get any sun. So this likes to grow these really wonky shaped stems in an attempt to get new stems to grow. Eventually they start hanging. So this is a new one. As you can see, it's trying to grow against the wall and it's growing, you know, like a dragon, but eventually it should go ahead and relax and hang down. But this Hoya is, let's see, I can't see the roots too well. It looks very, it looks like there's a lot of algae in the pot. But the roots look very good. I don't know if you can see those at all, but the roots look really good, which is good. This is in a 5-inch pot. Now let's see if I can, oh, I think I may have just taken this right off the macrame hanger. Oh no, I think I did. When I was showing you the roots, I took it right off the macrame hanger. I always wanted a large pot of polyneura to hang in the window, and I think I got that. It really requires no effort from me other than watering it. I do think that these yellow leaves are a result of underfeeding. I've heard that this Hoya is a voracious feeder. I have lost some leaves, but normally I lose the leaves on these back stems which are up against the wall. I just love this plant. It is such a striking plant. People that don't know Hoyas walk in and see this plant and they're instantly, wow, what is that? And I have to tell them, you know, that's a polyneura. You know, wow, it looks like, you know, then you say, you know, it's named after, people call it the mermaid's tail Hoya or the fishtail Hoya. And they go, oh yeah, wow, I can see that. And they have to say, wow, and then you know it's a good gateway into other Hoyas. Because people think, oh, Hoyas, they all look the same. And then you show them Hoyas like this. And this Hoya just does not look like other plants. This looks different. So if I had to pick one Hoya that I would pick amongst all my other Hoyas, excluding ones that I would keep for sentimental reasons, I would pick this above all others. Excluding the ones I would keep for sentimental reasons, I would pick this. So number one would be the polyneura. Now let's see if I can sit this down. I think I'm just going to go ahead and put this back on the wall. Okay, I got the polyneura put up finally. That one took me a little bit to get done. So the first one was like my absolute favorite. The next one is my absolute favorite right now, and that is the piestolepis. And the reason why it is my favorite right now is because, let me hold these, because it has all of these new leaves, and this is just one stem. So it has, let me hold this down a little. So it has 1, 2, looks like one fell off, unfortunately. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It has 8 new leaves, plus it has 1 new leaf right there and a node right there. And it still has the active growth point right there. But on top of that, as if that wasn't enough, let's look at this other side. And it's got 2 new leaves right there, 2 new leaves right there, 2 new leaves right there, 2 right here, 2 right here, and 2 baby new ones right here. So this Hoya, this piestolepis, has been in the front of my Millsbow cabinet right now for the last 2 weeks. And it started these leaves as tiny leaves about this size right here. And I thought, oh, surely they're all gonna fall off. And they didn't, they all actually grew. So I have all of these new leaves, and I need to put this on a trellis now. But I'm a little afraid because I don't want any of the new leaves to fall off. So I'm gonna wait for the new leaves to develop, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put it on a trellis. But what I'm gonna show you is I'm gonna show you these developing new leaves. Look, oh yeah, one did fall off. I'm gonna show you if you can see this, show you, see if I can get the sun to catch this the right way. Show you how the ripples and the abs are on that leaf, and how they are starting to get on these leaves right here. And you can see it more on these leaves, although they are larger. The ribbing, or as I call it, the abage, fades as the leaves get larger and more mature. But these are still new leaves, so these still have some of the ribbing. See if I can get unfortunately I can't really get the sun to catch those. This is 2 stems. There's a stem here and there's a stem here. I bought this 1 node, 2 leaves, 1 node. I bought that. And then I got this 2 node, 4 leaved stem. I got that as a gift. And what I decided to do was I could have put one in one substrate, one in another, and experimented, but I decided to go ahead and put them both in the same one. I put them in tree fern fiber and perlite, and so far it's in a self-watering pot. So far it's doing really good. It's been in the self-watering pot for about a month, and as you can see, it's getting really good roots coming out of the sides of the pot. Things look like they are growing well. There's some roots coming out of the pot there. I do notice a little bit of some, I don't know if you can see it. Let me put this down. A little bit of some white mold on some of the tree fern fiber, if you can see it. See that white mold? So I'm not for sure what I need to do about that. It's kind of interesting to me about that white mold because I sprayed these, or I watered these with Pure Crop 1, and Pure Crop 1, among other things, among being a pesticide, it's supposed to be a fungicide, a bactericide. I don't know if it's a bactericide. It's a fungicide. I need to look that up. So I need to see how this tree fern fiber reacts to being in self-watering pots. See how it goes, because if it's gonna grow mold, it's not gonna work. Or maybe I need to put some charcoal in the mix with the perlite. So that's a tangent I got off on, but to go back on the subject of the piestolepis, this is pubescent on the back. The smaller leaves are pubescent on the front, but it's really nice. I don't really try to feel the new leaves. They're so soft and so sensitive. But this plant, I just absolutely love the leaves. They grow so beautifully. They come in and then they get the ripples, and then they grow out, and then they just get so beautiful. So the second plant that if I had 10 Hoyas to pick, I would definitely not live without the piestolepis. The third plant that I wouldn't live without is probably one that a lot of people wouldn't live without, and that's the heuschkeliana intervariegated. And this Hoya taught me a lot about growing Hoyas from a small plant and growing it large, and what to do when you hit a plateau to get a Hoya to go to the next level. This Hoya was one of my first Hoyas to bloom. See, it has some blooms that fell off. Looks like, let's see, I got some blooms right there. That may be the only blooms I have right now. But this Hoya taught me so much about growing Hoyas from small to very large. It taught me about how to trellis Hoyas. It taught me about root rot. Let's see, this Hoya, the roots look so great. See, what I did with this Hoya was in a 4-inch pot, and the roots were, it was in pond, but the roots were really friable. They were weak, they were thin, they just weren't very good. So I had a video, and I'll see if I can link it up here. I did a video where I took this out and I cleaned the roots. I maintenance the roots. And that's pretty scary because normally when you do that, the plant just, you know. But this plant did well. I trellised it. And what happened instead was, instead of having a plant with not very good roots, now I have a very healthy plant, and you can see them here, but the roots look really great. And this whole pot is full of roots, but you can see those roots there. This Hoya is very full. It's growing very large. It's got several peduncles. It's got lots of new growth, as you can see by the pink. The pink tinged is the new growth. It comes in pink. It turns pink especially when it comes in tinted with light. I really like this. It taught me a lot about sun stressing too. This Hoya taught me that if you expose a Hoya to different levels of light, you get different amounts of variegation on a Hoya. So I really love this Hoya. It's a beautiful Hoya. Plus it has a lot of good experiences and memories for me. So for its value to me in terms of beauty and in terms of what it taught me and what it gave me, the third Hoya that I would keep, if I could only keep 10 Hoyas, is the heuschkeliana intervariegated. The fourth Hoya is kind of a straggly mess right now. The reason it looks like this is this Hoya, this is the rotundiflora. This Hoya is incredibly sensitive to being trellised. So when it grows new stems, I do not trellis it until it gets long enough that I can wrap it all the way around to the top again. So because I have killed so many of these stems by wrapping it around the trellis, I'm not going to do it anymore. This is my rotundiflora. Let me switch this around. So that was kind of the back view, I believe. The nice thing about this rotundiflora, it's got blooms that are developing here. It's got blooms that are developing right here. It's got blooms that are developing on the back right here. It's got a peduncle right here. Let's see, let's take a look at the roots. Oh, it needs water, but these are the roots. Let's give them a pull. There's some roots that are coming off, but I do believe that that's because there's no water in this. Yeah, I do believe that's because there's no water in this. These are good roots. I will put water in this right now. But this Hoya is a finicky Hoya. It drops stems. The stems die off just literally just because it doesn't, oh no, I pulled off a peduncle. I just pulled off a peduncle. That's why I don't mess with these on camera. It is very ugly trellised right now. It needs to go on one of the hoop trellises, a bamboo hoop trellis that I have the heuschkeliana on. That's what I need to put this on, honestly. It's wound too much around this wire. It doesn't look good. It doesn't make sense. The Hoya is unhappy. Ooh, it has a new peduncle. First time blooming, or first time budding up, it looks like. But this Hoya has had some damage. As you can see, it brushes up against the light. This is from brushing up against the light. So it does get damaged. The reason why this Hoya is so fickle is this is all one stem. All this Hoya is from one stem. This all grew from a single stem. I'll see if I can put a picture up here. I got this from a dear plant friend, and that's one of the reasons why it means so much to me. Not just that some people tell me they normally don't see rotundifloras of this size, so that is one of the reasons why it means a lot to me. Another reason why it means a lot to me is because it was given to me by a dear friend when she came to visit me. She is from San Francisco, and she came to town and she brought me a plant. So that meant a lot that she carried it, with her when she traveled. So, for many reasons, for just the beauty of the plant, for the unusualness of the plant, you can't be, a rectangle leaf with 5 o'clock shadow stubble, because that's the kind of feeling the pubescence has. So for my next plant, let's see, 1, 2, 3, the fourth one would be the rotundiflora, the wild and crazy rotundiflora. So now I'm going to switch to a smaller one. And this one is the Collina IR26, and I'll show it to you up close. This is a slightly different plant. The reason I'm going to show this to you is when I got this plant, this is what the leaves looked like. These small, sorry, I got sap from the rotundiflora's blooms on my finger. See, when I got this plant, it was these small, tiny little leaves. And what I did was I put this in a cabinet with not low light, because it's literally in a western facing window, but I put it in a cabinet with lower light. And what happened is all of these purple leaves, yes, they are sun stressed, but this is what color they come out naturally. They are naturally, they're like a GPS 7240. They kind of come out this color, and if you give them just a little bit of sun, they stay this color. But if you put them in lower light, they come out large. They come out this size. So instead of this tiny little one, they come out this size instead. I really enjoy the large leaves. They come out with lots of splash, which is also something that the original leaves don't have. They don't have any splash on these. The ones that I grew in my care have lots of splash on them. So this plant, just for the way it looks, I really enjoy it. The purple, from not intentionally trying to sun stress it, keeping it in a lower light cabinet. It's really nice. It does have some nice looking roots sticking out of the pot, considering it is one stem and it is very small. It is a small plant. It's small root, has small root system, so it's pretty surprising that it's got this nice thick root sticking out of the side of the pot. I do need to repot this though. This is kind of a wonky, as you can see it's very loose. But I really love this plant. It's such a beautiful color. It has such beautiful splashing. So for the reasons of just how beautiful it looks, I definitely would keep the Collina IR26, sometimes known as the Beacensis, with me if I only had 10 Hoyas to choose. This Hoya is a little different for me. And, you know, I tried to pick Hoyas that didn't have any problems, and I think I picked a Hoya that has root mealies. I really do. This is the Waymaniae Cloudy Sky, and I absolutely love this Hoya. I don't get to see this Hoya much because it is in the back of my Hoya cabinet, or my Millsbow back behind me. But I got this as the 2 leaves on the bottom. It has grown the next 3 sets of leaves since then. As you can see, it's got beautiful splashing. But as you can see, I do think, let me turn this, I do think it has root mealies. Let me, right there. Let's see if I can get the light. I do think it has root mealies. If you see those spots in that pot, I don't think that's perlite. See, they kind of stick to the side of the pot rather than sit in the pot. I do think those are root mealies. So since the root system is so good, that root system looks really awesome. I don't want to do anything to that root system. So I'm going to try spraying it with I'm going to try watering it with Pure Crop 1, do a dunk, a root soak, and see how we go with that. But the reason that I would keep the Waymaniae Cloudy Sky is, number one, it's kind of a hard Hoya to get. I had to kind of ask around to find it. It's not really went down in price so far. So that's another factor. This is kind of one of those, if I had to get rid of all my Hoyas, would I keep this one because it would be hard to replace? Plus, this is basically like a super splashy small obovata, and obovata is one of my favorite plants. But this is like the super deluxe splashy obovata. I really love it. It's just such a cool little plant. The splashing is just to die for. The growth pattern is lovely. I love to see it just grow up the side of my Millsbow. So the next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6th one is my Waymaniae Cloudy Sky. My next one is kind of a Medusa, if you will. This is my meredithii. This one did have root mealies, and I did a dunk with the Pure Crop 1. I have to take this out. These are all cuttings. This is just a cuttings plant. This plant has had its issues because it's so big. It always comes up and bumps when it's got new leaves, it always bumps the new leaf on on a wall somewhere. Like this leaf right here has this dip right in the middle right here. So it's hard to get perfect new leaves, but it's got beautiful leaves like this. Let's see, what is its newest leaf? The newest leaf is not there. I don't know what the newest leaf is. I have to look. But some of them have been coming out damaged. And I'm starting to get the leaves knocked off. As you can see by those nodes that have no leaves but have scars on them for where leaves have dropped off. Like here, there's a scar here where two new leaves have dropped off. So although this is a Hoya that I would keep if I only had 10 Hoyas to choose from, because I absolutely love this Hoya. Right now, I am not happy with this Hoya how it is. I have a feeling that I am going to take this out of the pot, and I'm probably going to cut this up some more. Because what I'm probably going to do is see, this is a cutting. This is the stem. So what I can do is I can cut down here, cut this node off, and then root right here and remove this, and then have this leaf, and then have these nodes that have not produced any leaves yet be rooted. The same thing with over here. You know, root. Oh, that has got a peduncle. Look, how lovely. A peduncle right on top. See if hopefully you can get it to focus. Because it's right there. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to, I'm probably going to cut this plant up. Like, see, like it's got, I had it get a little bit of a fungus or bacterial spots from this plant being jammed up against the wall and it not having a chance to get air around it. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it in I'm going to cut it up, I'm going to check the roots, I am going to put this in a 6-inch pot instead of this 5-inch. This is more like a 4.5. I'm going to put this in a bigger self-watering pot, and I'm going to cut this up, and we're going to go from there. And we're going to let this, I'm going to try and trellis this meredithii on a ladder trellis. I have a vision of what I want this meredithii to look like. Miro from Basie Plants, who also does, I'm the one who also does Hoyas. He does incredible Hoya videos on YouTube. He is the original, the OG. He had a latifolia outer variegated on a big, tall ladder trellis. And I envision this meredithii on a big, tall ladder trellis. It's a vision, and in order for me to have that vision, this plant has to stay with me, even if I only have 10 Hoyas. So here's the meredithii. Well, I was wondering where that new leaf was. Now I know. Obviously, it wasn't a very good leaf to begin with. It had its issues. That really tells me that those roots are a problem and that I need to get that plant out of there ASAP, because this leaf was fine yesterday. And if the meredithii wasn't enough for large leafed Hoyas, the latifolia from Sarawak certainly should be. And as for plants that need to go in 6-inch pots, this one would be one as well. This one, I rinsed out the pot earlier because it had a very unusual odor to it. But I checked the roots. The roots are very good. You can pull on them, nothing happens. The roots are kind of buried deep in here, but they are in there. The roots are also sticking out of the pot. As you can see, the whole thing, the roots are sticking out. So this plant really needs a 6-inch pot. This is a 5-inch and it's too small. But I had to cut this up into cuttings, and you know, you do with what you got. But this plant is in my Millsbo cabinet. It is kind of wedged back in the back of my Millsbo cabinet. This is another one of my Hoyas that it's getting a little too big for the cabinet and it's about time to move out, but I don't really know where to move it out to. I don't want to necessarily move it out because it does grow so well inside the cabinet. But you know, you got to do what you got to do. It's got nice new growth points. I see them. It's got, you know, growth point here. It's got, you know, growth tip here. It's got a new leaf right here. So it's doing really well. It doesn't have really any damage. I did go through a phase where I do believe this is a heavy feeder, because it did go through some phase with some leaf damage like this and some leaf damage like this. And I didn't see any pests. There was some root issues. So it was either root damage or a nutrient deficiency. I have been trying to feed the plants more. I am kind of lax on that. I don't know why. I mean, it's not that hard to squirt general hydroponics in my watering can. But I also I also watered with Pure Crop 1, you know, to see about taking care of root situations. And I do believe that it turned a corner with this plant. So we're just gonna see where it goes with this. But this is my latifolia from Sarawak. And the reason why I want to keep this plant is this is the most expensive plant, rare plant I ever bought. And I paid $108 for one leaf. $108 for one leaf of this. Thank goodness I didn't kill it. I would have been so upset. That leaf is no longer. I cut this up. This is cut up into cuttings now. But the stem is still there. But you know, I love this. Ugh. Ew. See, this is, I get this. I have to be careful of this. I get this dark gray stuff. What this is I get sap from the Hoya blooms, and they drip down onto the leaves. And then if I don't see the sap on the leaves, and I don't clean it off right away, because my fans are slowly dying in my cabinet, the airflow in certain areas is not enough, so it will get kind of powdery mildew. So I gotta wash this off. I thought I washed them all off, but I didn't. So that is a leaf I gotta still take care of. But for that reason alone, $108 for one leaf, you gotta keep that plant forever. But I just love this, even after having this plant for so long. That stereotypical, perfect, almost heart-shaped leaf with the veins. I love it so much, I painted it. That's how much I loved it. I won't show the painting because I'm very amateur, so it's not a high-quality painting. But I did. I loved it so much, I painted it. So I definitely, if I only had 10 to keep, I would definitely keep this one, the latifolia from Sarawak. The next Hoya that I would keep is the caudata big green leaf. This is another one that I took cuttings from, and then I rooted the cuttings. That's why the pot is so full. These are all cuttings that grew from there, and I trellised this on a bamboo trellis, which you can see right here. I've got some fresh leaves, or some new leaves, like I got a new leaf right there. This is a new leaf. These leaves get distorted so easy. Like this leaf looks like a taco. These leaves just get wonky, just so easy. And the stems, they all look dead all the time because they're so thin. It's got a new leaf right there. See, you can tell this is an active growth point. But you get something like this, and you would think that's dead, right? Nope, it's growing this new leaf, and it's growing this new stem. But this looks totally dead. This part looks totally dead. So, what are you gonna do? This plant, the roots look good. Let me take it out for you. Here are the roots. The roots are not really coming outside of the pot. I do need to rinse them because there are some stagnant looking roots right there. They do look dark brown. That's not really a good color for pond roots. So I want to get in there and take a look at that, flush those, and make sure those are actually good living roots. To me, normally that signifies that that's not a good root. But there are definitely other good roots in here. And I got to take a break and change my battery, so I'll be right back. Okay, got the battery changed. Got water all over the floor too. This caudata big green leaf did have root mealies, but originally I did a bare advanced tree and shrub. I did a root soak with that. That got rid of a lot, but not all of the root mealies. And then, like I've been kind of talking about, I tried the product called Pure Crop 1, which is a product that I heard about from Adam, not Dude, and his podcast. I totally butchered the podcast title, and I totally misrepresented and got the names wrong of all the the hose. So I'm going to put them all on the bottom of the screen because I apologize. I am really bad at names. So I know who you are. I can see your faces in my mind when I picture your podcast, but I'm going to get your names wrong. So I tried 2 applications of Pure Crop 1 on this plant, on my plants that had root mealies, and I'm really happy to say that the root mealies are gone. There are absolutely no root mealies in sight. There are no root mealies in my water reservoir. So I am pretty happy to see that. The roots look fairly good. There is a patch that has, that looks like the roots may be not so good. They look dark. I do know that the plant probably does have some dead roots because I do see leaves like this one right here, which is very floppy and is kind of wrinkly. So I do know that there are some root issues that I do need to resolve, but the root mealies are gone. So that's a good step. So if I only had 10 plants, I definitely would keep this caudata big green leaf. I hope that from this point forward, I see a new growth phase from this plant. I would like to get it to bloom. It did have a peduncle. Unfortunately, it fell off. I'm hoping to get another peduncle again, to get it to bloom. That would be really nice. I have a caudata gold that I just got that is growing, that if this doesn't bloom, you know, the caudata gold could replace this one. So the caudata big green leaf. And number 10 has to be the GPS 7240. And I got this as 2 little plants. I'll show this above. I got this for, I think it was my birthday. And so what I did was I took the trellis and I put one stem going this way and one stem going this way, and I let them grow up and meet in the middle, and the plant just kind of grew from there. So this has bloomed before. It has 2 peduncles, one right there, one right there. It has a new peduncle blooming for the first time, budding up for the first time right here, which is very exciting. I do believe it has another peduncle somewhere. Yes, right here. There's a peduncle right here as well. So it is growing quite large. It is not exactly sun-stressed. I have it up on a shelf near the light, but it doesn't seem to be too interested in sun-stressing. So I let it be. This Hoya does not drop leaves necessarily if I trellis it on, say, the 10 o'clock position or the 2 o'clock position on down on the circular trellis, but it will stop growing. So I have learned, like the rotundiflora, I do not trellis this plant if the leaves are anywhere near going to the down position. I leave it stopping about 2 o'clock, and then I let it grow until it's long enough to wrap it around again till I can trellis it in about the 4 o'clock position, where it will be facing up again, which is why this is right here. It's budding because it is now facing up. This one is new, very new. The leaves are still, this is kind of interesting. When this produces new leaves, they are fuzzy underneath, very soft, like a true Bretonnier. Not that I have one, but I've been told they are truly fuzzy. But they are, when they are new, the undersides are pubescent when they're adult or when they're fully formed, but not as much as when they're new. When they're new, they're so soft. But this plant, it's just, I love the shape. I love it when sun stresses purple. It does look like a grape. The concave shape of the leaf does give it a whole other look when you photograph it, because it looks like it's filled like a grape, but instead it's just concave. Like this leaf right here, it's perfectly concave and hollow underneath. I think that's because they attract bugs and ants underneath, and they have a symbiotic relationship with ants. But I just love this plant. It's pretty easy going. This is the plant. I'm pulling on the roots. It's got thin looking roots, but they look very healthy. I'm not going to disturb them, but all over they are outside the pot. The pot is very, very firm, so I can tell that the pot is just filled with Hoya roots. So the 10th, and a very dirty pot, but the 10th Hoya that I would keep if I only had 10 Hoyas to keep is definitely the GPS 7240. Now, I said 10 Hoyas, but I actually kind of have 12. This is actually the same plant. This is my Rebeccca, and I cannot include a list of Hoyas that I would keep without including this Hoya. This Hoya I will put a picture of it. This Hoya was given to me a couple of small stems by a very, very dear friend of mine. And this Hoya took me a very long time to grow and was in this pot. This is in solid or straight cocoa husk, as you can see. And what happened was I got root rot, and the plant that was, the part of the plant that was in here got very, very thin, and was very thin and didn't look like it was going to survive. So I cut off all of the thin leaves and rooted it in water. And this was the part of the plant that was still healthy and attached to the root that was in the base of this pot. And this is, as you can see, very healthy. It's dry, so I need to add water to it. But this plant is extremely healthy. It flowers all the time. It blooms all the time. It has, as you can see, there's some blooms falling off now. But it's got blooms, it's got flowers here, 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 here. But let's look at this, because this is the most fascinating part. These are the cuttings that I did not think would survive. And not only did they not survive, they grew and they are now blooming. This is the Rebeccca bloom. See if I can get it close enough for you to see. The roots look good. This is not exactly a pot that the roots can come out of. So they basically can only come out they can only grow out of the string or the holes in the bottom. And the root looks good. I see roots coming out the side. Everything looks good. The plant is extremely healthy. It fills out every part of this. This is in pond. So we have one in cocoa husk and one in pond. It's growing rapidly. It's sun stressing in under a grow light that nothing else sun stresses under. So it's growing out, as you can see. It's all growing in this direction. I keep this number one because it's a testament to the fact that I can recover a plant that is literally at death's door. This is the first plant I recovered that I thought I was gonna kill. I thought was dead. And I put them in water to reroot them, and I was like, these are never gonna grow. These are never gonna survive. And sure enough, they plumped up. I can't think of the word, but they plumped back up, and they grew from there. But not only that, but the fact that this came from a dear plant friend, a dear friend, period. And that every time I look at this plant, I think of her and the friendship that she had, and the plants that she gave me out of her kindness and her friendship. And I could not keep Hoyas without keeping a plant from her, because she was the one who got me interested in Hoyas. So if I only kept 10 Hoyas, I had to keep one from her. And so I had to sneak one in. So I had to make it a bonus plant. So number 11 is my Rebeccca. Okay. Well, those are my 10 or 11 or 12, technically, Hoyas that if I had to get rid of my Hoyas and I could only keep 10, those were my 10 that I would keep. What Hoyas would you keep if you had to downsize, seriously downsize your collection? What Hoyas would you keep? Put them in the comments below. I'd love to know what ones you could not live without. I really appreciate you watching this video and going on this journey with me. This was kind of a longer video. We'll see how it goes in editing, but it's probably a longer video. If you stayed to the end, wow, I really appreciate you. I hope to see you next time, and until then, have a great day. Thanks. Bye.